who in the world gets published in Chicken Soup for the Soul, but Umi here. Tell that story, because it's an amazing one. I mean, I think this is like hundreds of millions of this books have been sold in the series, and a book that didn't make it in your book finds a home in that. Share that story and news, and when can we get it, by the way?
It is out now. Chicken Soup for the Soul. I'm speaking now. So my book is pretty much about stories of predominantly Black women who have had dismissive experiences with healthcare providers. I also interviewed, there are 3 or 4 stories there with healthcare providers themselves, and also, allies who don't identify, who are non-binary. And what happened is, as I'm going through the launch, the month of the launch, this woman that everyone had told me about that story, Dr. Susan Moore, passed away due to COVID, but it was a huge story because of the way she had been treated when she went in as a doctor, as a Black female doctor. She went in to get help and was basically dismissed, and ultimately she died of complications related to COVID-19. And I was so inspired by that. And I, ended up writing this long post about this is why I wrote this book and we need to fix this. And so I just started freestyling. I had talked to a couple of friends that didn't make it into the book because they, got back to me too late. And so I just started writing, and I applied. I knew that Chicken Soup for the Soul was looking for these stories from Black women. And so I sent my story in just thinking, actually a bunch of people I knew had actually applied, and it was kind of awkward because when I got in, I was like, "Did you? Oh no, okay, next time."
Did I get in? Yeah.
Did you? And then they were like, "Oh, you did," and I was like, yes, and it's out soon. But yeah, so they accepted the story, and it was this amazing they sent me their edits, and I had to agree to, the edits. They picked a quote from someone that I actually love, Kimberly Crenshaw, who I actually gave credit to in the acknowledgments in my book. And so I was able to publish, and it came out on June 1st, officially out for sale. So, I just feel like this is the gift that keeps on giving, because I never thought that I could write. I had the discipline to write an entire book or the time. And so now it's like I have that system down. I know how I write. I know what I need to do to get myself in that zone. But it's just been great. It's just, extension of the book. And now I'm thinking of writing a children's book companion. I think when I started out, I just thought it would be me and my friends and anybody kind of connected to my friends. And so it's grown beyond that. And that's been really exciting. I knew that through New Degree Press and through, you and through the process that's already set up, you have the structure. So you have the editor, that you're not going to put something out that isn't good, right? And so I knew that the standard was going to be there, and I, really worked hard on the research. So for me, it was always, I'm talking about personal stories, so you can't, deny someone else's existence.
Right.
I have the research, and it's also a well-written book, if I do say so myself.
Not because have to say so. There's been people who've already nominated you for National Book Awards, so you're okay in that one. Just me.
Thank you, but it's also, my editor was amazing. Both of my editors, the developmental editor and my acquiring editor, were so supportive. And so I think I got that confidence from having that team around me and getting that feedback of people sort of being like, this is really good, push yourself or don't push yourself. And so it became more about, if everything else that's technical is good, then I can give myself the freedom to say what I need to say. And I think if you make it personal and you follow those steps, it makes it a lot easier, because you're just like, there's quality control there, right? So you're doing your own internal processes, and then somebody else is taking it from you, and it's just getting better and better along the way.